Hey, what's up guys? It's John from Shed Business. This is just like a bonus video I figured I'd put together because I have a lot of guys that have been asking me about, they say, hey John, how can I actually compete with the big box stores and other competitors in my area with the Shed Academy building system? So I wanted to kind of go into a little detail on that as to how you actually can compete and why you're actually going to have an advantage over either the big box stores or custom shed builders that might be in your area. So we'll go over those type of points. I just want to bring that out a little bit because that seems to be a big question a lot of guys have, and I understand it, but I can only give you my experience and let you in on what I've found. So people like to shop local, all right? That's one big advantage you have over the sales, big box type, home centers that have the national, chains. People, are much more comfortable dealing with a local business than they are actually giving their money over to those big box stores, especially in today's economy. People are realizing that money being spent in their community actually goes, they get the most out of it that way, supporting local businessmen. So that's one huge factor. So Forbes wrote an article and it says, small is the next big trend in retail. So people are starting to move away from the Amazons and all this type of thing. We're getting fed up with the idea that all these big monopolies are really putting a lot of local businesses out. So when it comes to service type businesses, people like to shop local. Shoppers will return to Main Street. This trend is fueled by the desire for a better shopping experience that they can't find online at the mall or in big box stores. So that seems to be the thing. People are realizing that, there's something, you can get maybe a deal, I bought this on Amazon, I got a great price and all. However, there is something lost. There's something lost in, you have stores in your local community that are shutting down because they're being, undercut by these big, companies. So people are starting to realize, we're kind of cutting our own throat by doing this. And they're looking to purchase things locally. Today, small businesses have a competitive advantage that none of the bigger, better capitalized and techno-savvy retailers have: their personal touch. And that's what you're going to be giving of yourself if you start the shed building business. I'm going to teach you. It's going to be you. You represent your company. So that's a big thing when it comes to selling sheds. Vital members of the local community. So people are looking for people in their community to feel that they want to spend their money with. So, the fact that you're a local person, you're going to be right there in the community. You can do local activities. You can, participate in. That's going to go a long way when it comes to your business. People like to deal with the owner. That's another big factor I've found. When I go on a sales call or I speak to somebody on the phone, I proudly tell them, I'm John, I'm the owner of the company. And immediately they feel comfortable. They say, wow, I'm dealing with the top guy. Even if it's just one guy, you're still the top guy in that case. So that's a big factor, that you're the owner and you're actually not going to be sending a crew out there to be building their sheds. You're going to tell them, I'm the owner and I'm the guy that's going to build your shed. And that goes a long way when it comes to confidence in the sales. You're only as good as your word, right? I've found that in my life and every aspect of it, I've always, had the motto of, my word is gold. Whatever I say I'm going to do, I actually do. Sometimes it comes back to bite me here or there, but that's just how I live. So I never take deposits from people. I always tell them, a handshake is all I need, and I'm going to put you on my schedule, and I'm going to be here on the day I tell you, and I'm going to build your shed. I probably built, over 2,000 sheds, and I've not once had an issue collecting the money after the fact. People are always so happy with the end result. I've never had a person that said, oh, I don't know, we have to talk about this. So I don't take deposits. I'm not saying you shouldn't. It goes a long way with trust with customers. Handshake is all I need. I always do the right thing. I've been into situations where, believe me, I wanted to scream at the customer because, they were being so unreasonable at certain things. I've never, ever wavered from doing the right thing always, leaving that customer, regardless of my own emotional feelings about the situation, feeling that they were right in whatever scenario, whatever extra thing they may have wanted me to do to correct or this or that. I always do the right thing. I have nothing but 5-star ratings, and that's what it's going to take to maintain that kind of thing. So that's just another factor when it comes to sales and why you're going to have an advantage over, let's say, a big box store. Our sheds are built better. They're built on site. Building on site is a huge advantage when it comes to sheds. A lot of people don't want large trucks driving over their lawns or having to take down fences in order to get a pre-constructed shed delivered on a trailer into their yard. Not everywhere in the country does that apply. Perhaps if you're in a very rural area, maybe that's such a big factor. But if you're like me on Long Island, nobody wants a truck driving on their lawn. All the houses are very tight. So the fact that we build on site is a huge plus, usually, over competitors. So that's a big thing. Simple design, always built on site and totally customizable. So that's huge too. A lot of places will not go to the customization that we can do because we build it on site. We can put doors, we can put windows, we can change anything on that shed. Because whatever, we got to know beforehand, how the configuration might be. But at the same time, we can manipulate anything the customer wants. They want 2 windows over here, a door here, and it's no problem. You want a separate door, a single door on this side, double doors on this side, and 2 windows over here. No problem. We can reconfigure things because we're building it right there on site. So that's a huge plus when it comes to sales as well. Balance of quality and value. Our shed is the perfect balance of quality, features, and value price point. So we have a sweet spot that we fill. So big box stores lack customer service. You've been there. You've been to Lowe's or Home Depot or these kind of places, and in the parking lot there's about 8 or 10 sheds there. There's nobody ever there. You can wander around for an hour and no one's ever going to come out and say, "Hey, can I help you?" It just doesn't happen. You have to then go into the parking lot, start looking at stuff. You're going to wander into the store. Nobody's going to know what to do when it comes to actually selling a shed to you. It's a real hassle. Plus, the quality of these sheds is very low. So that's one contrast, all right? So that's one part of the market. The other part of the market is custom builders. These are guys that actually have sales lots, and they're more custom oriented, not like the Home Depot or Lowe's. They're going to do all the fancy things. So in this case, there's a dormer thing, and they have the fancy doors and windows, and they embellish them quite a bit. And that's a whole different market. That's probably twice the price of the Home Depot shed. We come right in the middle, not actually in the middle of the two in a sense of quality, but we're price point. We are at the Home Depot or Lowe's price point. So we're at the lower price point. However, we are giving the kind of features, as you can see here. This is a very custom shed. This is our shed. It's the perfect marriage of the two, value and custom quality features. It's a winning combination. It's been my bread and butter for the last 12 to 14 years building sheds, and it could be yours as well. Once you go through the Shed Academy course, and I teach you exactly how to produce this kind of a shed for your customer. So quality features goes a long way. level the shed on solid concrete blocks. The whole floor structure is sitting off the ground on solid concrete blocks. We level them into the grade so it sits perfectly level. We use 2x6s treated, 16 on center for the floor. We use 3/4 inch plywood for the floor sheathing. That's a serious floor. Solid concrete blocks, 2x6s, 16 on center, 3/4 inch plywood on the floor. So that's your base, right? So that's very, very strong. You can drive motorcycles, quads on that, no problem. All 2x4 constructed, LP Smart siding, which is a 25-year warranted product from corrosion or insect damage. PVC trim. All trim boards on our sheds is PVC. Never have to paint it. It'll never rot. 30-year architectural shingles. Heavy duty 6-inch door hinges, locking T-handle. All those features are in our shed. It's probably, you're not going to find that kind of stuff on, again, the big box stores type sheds. So to recap, how will you compete with the competition? Pretty easy. People like to shop local. People like to deal with the owner. A handshake is all you're going to need. Our sheds are always built on site. Balance of quality and value. These put together is a winning combination that there'd be no reason why anybody would not buy a shed from you. I just wanted to remind you guys that March 15th, we're launching our Shed Academy course.